Who am I? Have I always been vegan? No. Have I always been sober? No. Have I always been trying to change the world and create peace? No. So somewhere along the line it's been programmed into us that animals are food. But you show a child a slaughterhouse, okay, and they would not think that that is food. And that's a pretty strong indicator that we should not be doing it. And what ended up happening to me is the environment shapes you. The environment that you're in will shape you into the person you are. A violent society will condition the people in it to be violent. And I've seen that my actions had reactions, okay? And I couldn't see any good coming out of taking an animal's life against their will and eating their body. I didn't want that in my body. And when you eat the piece of an animal who didn't want to die, you were eating their suffering, their anxiety, and their fear, and everything they went through. I reflected inside myself and I said, what is it about me that I haven't changed? And ever since that man said to me about eating suffering and becoming suffering, I realised that it was hypocritical of me to say that I cared about some animals, cats and dogs, koalas, but I had a piece of a dead cow on my plate. You're challenging people's belief systems here. Things that we've been taught our whole lives from a child, that we need milk for calcium, you need meat for protein, strong bones, all of these things that we've been fed by industry, okay? So what I believed of myself, what I believed about animals, I aligned with my actions. A lot of people say they love animals, they care for them, okay? And that, I truly believe they do in their mind. But their actions don't reflect that, okay? Animals are all born innocent, just like humans are born innocent. Animals stay innocent. The animals that we eat, herbivorous animals, get their protein from plants. All protein comes from plants originally, and most of the nutrients do. We are their guardians and their protectors, okay? And we lure them into these traps, and they have done nothing wrong to deserve what we do to them. They can't speak for themselves. They are born innocent, okay? When do you see a cow do something wrong? When does a chicken ever hurt anyone? These are innocent beings, okay? And they cannot voice their suffering to us. They cannot say to you, hey, I don't want you to do that to me. Okay, that's what I do. I say, hey, they don't want you to do that to them. Animals needed my help the most because they can't voice their suffering to you. They can't say to you, hey, I'm locked up in this cage about to get killed, can you please help me? They can't. They are helpless beings. It's not a natural thing to want to kill animals. It's a natural thing for us, we're compassionate beings, to want to care for animals. Even in the most humane farms, they still betray those animals when they put them on that slaughterhouse truck and send them to the slaughterhouse. Now, I feel like it's even more of a betrayal, because at least the ones in the factory farms know what's coming. The other ones feel like they're being led to the slaughterhouse by their parents. They're only guardians they've had. So you can imagine the betrayal the animals feel. We just want peace, okay? An activist is someone who sees an injustice and speaks out about it. My job is to wake people up, that's all. Not to have a go at anyone, not to make anyone feel bad. I'm not judging anyone. If we're going to treat people differently because of the way they look, or treat animals differently because of the way they look, we've got a problem here. And it splits the world apart, this ideology, speciesism. But we discriminate against pigs. We put them on trucks and we send them to slaughterhouses. We put them in factory farms, we breed them, we use them for their bodies, we rip the flesh off their bones. We don't do this with dogs, but inherently they're the same. So the idea that some lives matter less is the root of all that's wrong with the world. We've chosen, these animals are the ones we use, exploit and wear. These animals we care for. We do the same thing with animals. We generalise. Sheep and cows are all the same. Chickens are all the same. They are individuals with personalities, okay? They all are. Like your dogs have individual personalities, so do chickens, so do cows. So supply and demand is what keeps these slaughterhouses open. If you all want an iPhone, okay, they're going to produce more iPhones, aren't they? But yeah, that's how it works, supply and demand. So if you all want a burger with some cow in it, what are they going to produce? They're going to produce more burgers with more cows in it. Okay, so this is why the blood, okay, and the power is on the hands of the consumer. The reason I'm making supply and demand a big point to you guys is because it's the consumers, not the horror that goes on in a slaughterhouse. Do you think slaughterhouse workers wake up in the morning and go, I want to go kill animals all day in a factory that smells like feces and blood? That is not what they want to do. We're putting these slaughterhouse workers in horrific conditions because we want to eat animal flesh. They miss a big piece in the middle, don't they? This is the animal on the happy farm. There's your burger. What about all the stuff that happens in between? There's a reason they don't advertise that to you. There's something happening along the line that we are responsible for. All animals are essentially children when we kill them. No animal reaches their natural lifespan. The flesh that we are eating are from sometimes infant animals. So we are essentially eating children. Eggs are part of the menstrual cycle of a bird. I don't know where along the line we've been so cleverly programmed to believe that this is food. They're bred to produce 300 a year, so nearly an egg a day. Okay, can you imagine what strain that puts on their reproductive organs, pushing out egg after egg, the calcium loss. And after 18 months of pushing out eggs, they go to a sanctuary. No, they don't. They get slaughtered for their flesh. Okay, so this is the life of a chicken. None of them get out alive. Another horrific thing that I found out about the egg industry is what we do to the male chicks. But a baby chick can recognize their sibling immediately after hatching. So you can imagine how distressing that would be, separated from your sibling. Okay, and they go down this conveyor belt and they fall into something called a macerator, which is a big blender. And yes, they are fully conscious when they go into this macerator. Okay, a human mother produces milk for their baby. Yeah? So does she have to be pregnant to produce milk? Yeah, she does. Okay, she only starts lactating when she's pregnant. Cows are no different. They're mammals like us. So they have to be impregnated. Are they becoming pregnant naturally? No, they're becoming pregnant forcefully. They get held down in a rack, and the farmer will put his hand in her anus to hold the cervix, okay, which would be very uncomfortable, and they put a tube of semen into her and they impregnate her like that. So very distressing, and these are really young cows. I'm talking a year old. We are forcibly impregnating year-old cows. Their children obviously want to drink their mother's milk. But we want that milk, don't we? We want to drink their baby's milk. So what happens to their children? All the calves are taken, okay? All of them, from their mothers, because they can't drink up all their milk. That's for us. Okay, the males will be killed, sometimes on their first day of life, the first 24 hours, with blunt force trauma, which is welfare standard. You can hit them with a sledgehammer to kill them on their first day of life, a calf, a little male bobby calf. The others, you know, if they want to grow them for veal, they'll grow them for a number of weeks, and then they'll kill them for veal. What happens to the cow when she can't produce milk anymore? She gets sent to a slaughterhouse and her body will be eaten by human beings. And when do we stop drinking mother's breast milk? When we've weaned and when we're a toddler, yeah? We don't need it anymore. There's no biological need for milk anymore. Dairy contributes to hormonal cancers in humans. Ovarian, breast and prostate, okay? I don't advocate for animal welfare, okay? And you might be surprised at that, but I'll explain why. And veganism isn't about animal welfare. We don't want bigger cages for animals. We want to free animals. It means making their conditions a little bit more comfortable while they are enslaved and before they are murdered. And that's not what I want. That's not what I'd want for you if you were in a cage. I'd want you to be free, liberated. So the difference between animal welfare and animal liberation is freedom. Humane means to show compassion, kindness or benevolence. Slaughter means to kill, basically. So how can you kill someone compassionately? So if you can't humanely kill a dog, you can't humanely kill me. How can we humanely kill a cow, a chicken, a pig or a fish? These animals don't want to die. So that's something we have to remember. Animals do not want to die. So to take an animal's life when they have an interest in living cannot be humane. Is there a humane way to take an animal's life? Is there a humane way to enslave someone? To take away someone's freedom? To use them for their body? To exploit them? Is a bullet in the head a better way to die? Probably. Probably a better way to die. But I'll tell you right, that we don't have an option between bullet in the head or a gas chamber. There's a third option. Leave the animals alone. Okay, and that's what animal liberation is. So to determine whether or not something is humane, first ask if you'd want it done to yourself. So they market these foods to you like juicy and local and 100% Irish beef and delicious, right? But what I see when I see these advertisements is I see a suffered mother with a distended udder, you know, probably a mastitis infection, who just had her children taken off her for 5 years and then hung upside down and sliced across the throat and murdered. That's what I see. That's what I see. Now, I don't have a go at people who see the burger and go, that's delicious. I used to too, but I've seen that much cruelty now, that much suffering, that I can't see anything else but that. I used to walk through the butcher and just see, you know, food. They'd put like a piece of parsley on it, little happy pig picture on top, and I just think all is cool. But no, I've seen the process. I've been inside of a slaughterhouse when they're decapitating cows right in front of my face. I've watched the last ounce of life fade from their eyes. It doesn't smell like death in a slaughterhouse. It smells like struggle, okay, like fear, like feces. Okay, it's a horrible place for these animals.